quilters, welcome back to my channel, Pages and Stitches. That's spelled pages, the number 3 stitches, both here and on Instagram. My name is Kelly and I'm super happy to come to you this morning. This is Thursday, June 1st, and I'm bringing you my Quilters Corner update number 19, which is my May update, my May wrap up. So yeah, thank you so much for being here with me today. Welcome if you're new here. I do have to say a giant, massive thank you to all of the new quilters out there who have, or not new quilters, but new people to the channel who are quilters, I guess you could say, that have found me and have reached out and sort of just like validated the thought process behind starting quilters updates and quilting content, much like we do on FlossTube. Because as it turns out, a lot of people want to see stuff other than tutorials. They want to just, you know, just like we do with cross stitching, we just want to see what people are working on and what fabrics they use and what patterns they like, because, you know, that's our thing. So like I said, I do also have FlossTube videos. My FlossTube number 19 update for May was uploaded yesterday. So if you are a cross stitcher as well, go check that out. I do one a month of each, one FlossTube and one Quilters Corner. So here's my Quilters Corner today. You may notice that I am wearing a scrub top. I am filming this before I go into work, so I just have my work clothes on. I work in healthcare, so that's why I wear scrubs. But it's like working in PJs every day. So 10 out of 10 would recommend. Okay, so today I think it's gonna be more of a modest update. I didn't do too much. Most of my whip update is gonna be on this project here, because as you can see, I did a lot of work on it compared to what you saw last time. I did a couple other things. I did work some more on a couple other projects. I have a new start. That's always fun. And then of course I have some haul to show you. And then after that, before I go into work, I'm actually headed to an appointment I have with my long arm quilter. I had a standing appointment for this month to bring a quilt in to get quilted. And then she surprised me a day or two ago and said, I had a cancellation. Would you like to bring in a second quilt so I can do 2 for you this month? And I said, absolutely, I would love to. So I'm actually bringing 2 quilts to her today, and I'm pretty pumped about that. Just like I mentioned in my FlossTube, I do have a tattoo in progress, a new tattoo in progress on my arm. I'm not going to go into it just yet because it's not finished. Once it's finished, I'll let you guys know what the drill is. And if you're not at all interested in that, then you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so I'm going to start things off like I normally do with my reading update. If you have watched my FlossTube already, it's the same books as then, so just skip forward a little bit. Otherwise, let me show you what I've read this last month. So I started off by reading Wreck and Ruin by Emma Slate. This is the first book in a series about a motorcycle club romance. It's very good. Highly recommend. Then I read The Deal by Elle Kennedy. This is the first in her off-campus series, which is about a college-level hockey team and their romances. And then I finished up the Kane Brothers series by Meghan Quinn. Previously, I had read her book, A Not So Meet Cute. And then I did number 2, which is So Not Meant to Be. And then number 3, which is A Long Time Coming. It's the trilogy, so this was, as far as I know, this was the last one in that little trilogy. So that was what I read this last month. So real quick, I do want to show you the 2 quilts that I'm going to be bringing to my long armor, just to refresh your memory. I am bringing this one here. This is the Meadowland quilt by Then Came June. I used the line Cider by Basic Gray, and then just like a tan sandy colored blender for the background. And then the backing fabric is actually from the complementary line of Cider, which is Nutmeg. Nutmeg is what it's called, also by Basic Gray. So by the time I actually finally got around to finishing this quilt top, cider was no longer in print. And I don't know, if I had shopped around really hard, I probably could have found enough material from this line to do the backing, but I really liked this backing fabric from the Nutmeg line. It's got little birds on it. And it's the same colors, like it's meant to be a complementary line, so it worked out just fine. And then I'm also bringing this one here. This is the faux batik jelly roll that I got from Joann's that I bought specifically just to experiment with this specific pattern, which is you sew the strips together and then you cut triangles. And then I added a border of fat quarters from, well, I mean, obviously they're not the full fat quarters, from the same line, and then some black and gold. And then the backing is that one there, the purple green suns. So yeah, those are the two quilts I'm going to bring to her. We're going to go over which quilting patterns to look for. I don't really have anything in mind for either of them. I just kind of know what colors I want to do. But the good thing about the long armor that I go to is she's amazing. I totally trust her with my work, and she's really good at making suggestions regarding what to do. And then there have been times where I go in with no idea what to do, and I'm like, just do whatever. And she always gives me excellent work when I come back. I've loved everything she's given me. Alrighty, so let's do the whips that I worked on. Obviously, the biggest one that you can see here is the free pattern that I downloaded from Ruby Star Society. Actually, I downloaded it from Fat Quarter Shop, I believe, but the pattern is from Ruby Star Society. And I will have that link down below. It's called Favorite Sweater Quilt. And in fact, I made the favorite sweaters using a Ruby Star Society Fat Quarter bundle, which is the original Warp and Weft line. And those are wovens. So when I got that Fat Quarter bundle, it was gifted to me. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with it. And then I came across that pattern and I thought, oh, that's perfect, because these wovens definitely reminded me of like a sweater. So that's what I did. The original sample of the pattern has like a Christmassy vibe. The sweaters are supposed to look like winter or Christmas sweaters. And of course, I will insert a picture here of what the pattern looks like. My copy is in black and white because I printed it for my work printer. I'm a millennial. I don't own a printer. We print everything from work or at our parents' house. So a picture will be inserted. But I wanted to switch it up a little bit. So I used the Warp and Weft line, and then the background is just a solid from Joann's. It's like a mulberry. Actually, I'm pretty sure that's the name of the color. So yeah, I finished all the blocks. Everything is on my wall. It just needs to be assembled. So for the next update, I will have a new quilt on the wall because this will all be put together and then set aside in the closet waiting to go to my next long arm appointment. And then I do want to show you once again the fabric I bought for the backing, which is this one here. So I had mentioned previously that I got it because it has these really good like corally colors and like orangey reds that complement the fabric line, which you can see a lot better now that I have this all up on the wall. I haven't arranged the blocks how I want them just yet. I just kind of put them up on the wall as I finished them. So I'm probably gonna move some stuff around so that the color combinations and the composition looks better. But I really love it. Isn't it super cute? Yeah, there you can see it. What do you guys think? Also, I did want to point out, if you do download this pattern and choose to work on it, there's an error in the pattern, and I don't know if it's since been corrected, but the one that I printed from a while ago, there's an error in the pattern. So the finished block has a height dimension of 11 1/4, and the same with the sashing pieces between the blocks. And then, so presumably these big rectangles on the end would also have the same height because they're supposed to create one row. They do not. They are cut like half an inch shorter, something like that. I don't know the measurements off the top of my head. But I didn't realize that until I started putting it together on my wall, because I did all my cutting first and then laid it out. Which, I mean, obviously, why would you stitch a row before you finish the other blocks, right? So if you're gonna do this pattern, you need to make that correction. Either cut the rectangles to the same height as the finished blocks, or you can do what I did, which was like, obviously these were already cut out. So I had to trim my blocks and my sashing bits, which was totally fine. I just took from the bottom, since that's where most of the sweater was. And you can't tell the difference. It looks just fine. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows, and then half an inch is cut off of each row. So 1, 2, and a half. So the measurement top to bottom is going to be 2.5 inches shorter than what the finished dimensions are in the pattern. And the only other change that I'm going to have to make is these side pieces here are obviously cut with the measurement that they're 11 1/4 and not like the 10 3/4 that I had cut them to. So I'll just have to trim those once I get them on to the sides, which is easy enough to do. So that's simple. That's a really easy fix. I'm not like mad about it, but I just wanted to point it out in case any of you did decide that you wanted to do this pattern. There's a chance that by this point it's been fixed. Ruby Star, if you happen to be watching, first of all, hi, love you so much. Second of all, there's an error in this pattern. Okay, so the next WIP that I worked on was my cocktail hour quilt. Again, I will insert a picture because mine is in black and white of what it should look like. This is another free pattern, love a free pattern, from tildasworld.com, and rather than using Tilda's fabric, I am using my favorite designer's fabric, which is Anna Maria Horner, and I'm using a fat quarter bundle from her line Fluent, which I'm loving. So I have not made any new ladies. What I did do was some quilting. So I mentioned before that I want to do this one in a quilt as you go style. So I finally did a little bit of quilting, and I'll be able to elaborate more on that process. So this is my favorite method of quilt as you go. There's a bunch of different methods for how you can use the quilt as you go, but this is my favorite. So I used just some spray basting and attached it to batting. The batting was a little bit bigger all the way around, like half an inch bigger all the way around than the block itself. And then I just did, oh, okay, there we go. Just did some straight line quilting. So all of their hair are, I mean, I've only done 2 blocks. Their hair, I just did like an outline, and the same as their skin. And it's all done in similar colors. And you can see, like, it's not very uniform, you know. Sometimes the stitches are closer to the seam than in others, and that's okay. Like, I'm not striving for perfection here. I'm just trying to utilize this skill and kind of show how to do this process, and it just doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? I'm not taking this quilt to competition, so I don't need the stitching to be perfect. I'm just doing the best I can. I liked the outcome. It doesn't bother me. And so just like in cross stitching, remember, there's no quilting police. So do what you like. Okay, so yes, I outlined the hair, outlined the skin, and then with the dresses, I'm basically just going to be doing more straight line quilting, just in different ways. So on the blue in the background, I just did diagonal stitches, and you can see here, let me show it on the back. Yeah, you can see it way better. I got into the seam allowance, and just rather than ending my thread, I just kind of kept it going. And I'm like literally just eyeballing this straight line. I did not mark anything. It's okay if everything's like a little bit crooked. I'm just kind of randomizing how far apart the lines are. You know what I mean? I'm just having fun. And then with this pink dress, I did horizontal stitches. Again, see, they're all different widths. They're basically straight, maybe not 100% straight, but still, like, this is fun. And I'm using similar colored threads, so the threads do kind of blend in with the fabric. The fabric is obviously going to be the star of this quilt because it's Anna Maria Horner and I love her. So yes, so here's what this quilted block looks like. And then this one, the one that goes right below her, like so, is the other one I did. And so, again, just did some horizontal stitches on the pink in the background. She's got the blue hair. And then for her dress, which is this kind of checkered, like giant checkered pattern, I did just diagonal lines. So I did yellow and then I did the black in the squares. So you can see that better on the back. And you can see I'm using Frankenstein batting. Like I made this batting. This is why I tell you save your batting scraps because it's perfect for a project like this. This seam is where I joined two pieces of batting together. And it's flat. Like we can see it obviously, but it's flat and you can't feel it from the front of the block. So save your scraps. You can use it for a project. I'm not, you know, you don't have to go buy a new piece of whatever size batting whenever you have these strips left over that you can use just as well. So anyways, there she is. Now the next step, like once I get all the blocks quilted, the next step will be to sew these together just like regular quilt blocks. So you would do right sides together with the batting facing out, do your 1/4 inch seam allowance, and then it opens up like so. And you can do whatever you want, but since it's already thick, I like to iron my seams open. So you would just iron your seam in the back open. And then when you attach the backing, you just stitch in the ditch between the blocks. And that's it. And then bind it like normal. So again, once I get to that step, I'll show you. But for now, I just wanted to show you that I did some quilt as you go with my cocktail hour. And I also wanted to point out, so when you have blocks like this that have like a million little pieces, it's a lot more difficult to get a uniform shape and to have that shape meet the measurement or the dimensions the pattern says it's supposed to be. So, well, this one's got a piece on the top, but this one is what most of the blocks will look like. And it's supposed to measure 9 inches by 15 1/4, I believe. But you can see with some of the batting sticking out, like, you know, it's not completely uniform. So like all these pieces, they kind of, depending on how accurate your seams are, they kind of scrunch and shorten up. So using this batting method of quilts as you go, I can actually cut it to the dimensions the pattern says it's supposed to be. It's just the batting that's showing is going to get lost in the seam allowance, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? And it'll help make your blocks more of a uniform size. And just so you can see that on this one as well, see she's a little short on top, so I cut the batting like so. She's a little short on this side. So, I mean, the batting that's showing, it's like 1/8 of an inch. So the rest of it is gonna get lost in the seam allowance. See, I make mistakes. You just work with them. You don't get frustrated. You don't throw it out. You don't start over. You just work with them. You just brush that dirt off your shoulders and keep going. Because honestly, this project is too fun to worry about it. You know what I mean? So the next thing that I want to show you, those were the only two pre-existing whips that I worked on. Most of my time was dedicated to finishing this one, which is why I don't have more progress on other whips. But I'm really excited that this is going to be finished. At least the quilt top is going to be finished before the next update. So then I could probably either get the cocktail hour quilts up on the wall, depending on what I'm able to accomplish, or this next thing I want to show you. So I did a new start. I had mentioned before that I was either going to start Bauhaus or the Christmas potpourri sampler with my neons. And I started Bauhaus, which I'm super excited about. So here is the pattern for Bauhaus by Zen Chic. This quilt is obviously very modern, very edgy, very geometric. So my plan was to use the true colors within the Everglow line, the new Tula Pink release, and I just wanted to use the geometric ones. So there's polka dots and there's stripes, and I pulled all of those out of the line, and those are the ones that I'm using for the colored prints here. And they are neon and bright and beautiful, and I love them. The backing that I bought, not the backing, the background that I bought for this, so I wanted to get a dark background as opposed to all these different light colors as the background, because I really wanted it to pop the neons like it was a black light. So let me show you what I ended up getting. So I wasn't actually sure kind of which darker solid I wanted it to go with. So I bought two, and these are the two I got. So I got this kind of, oops, there's a thread. I got this kind of like dark kind of charcoal slate gray, thinking that might go better with the Everglow, because even though it's neon, it's kind of like pastels turned neon, you know what I mean? It's not quite your typical neon colors. Like, it's on the lighter side of neon, if that makes sense. You'll see it in a second if you haven't seen it before. And then I also got this one here, which is not a black, it's not a navy, it's called washed black. So it's like a faded black. So it's not truly dark. I don't actually have a black solid to show you. Oh, here. So here's a black fat quarter bundle, or excuse me, black fat quarter with roses on it. And I think, ignore the roses, but you can see how this black is obviously true and darker, and this one's like one step down. At least I hope you can see that. I can see it pretty obviously in person. So this is obviously the one I went with. This is what I have left over after I cut out all the background pieces. And then I'll save this for another project. It's a pretty color. I just, you know, I ultimately liked this one better because I felt like when I put the Everglow on top of it, on this one, it popped more like the black light feel that I was going for. So I managed to work on the first, let me open this pattern. Here's the layout diagram. I managed to work on this row over here, labeled D. And so I have 4 blocks done, and I have it sitting on my design wall, like right out of sight. So what I'm gonna do is insert a video of showing it off. You guys, look at how cute these blocks are coming out. I love them. I love how neon the Everglow is looking. It's exactly the look I was going for. Please ignore my cables. Yeah, I was definitely going for like that black light vibe. And it's coming out like with the geometric pattern and then the colors, it's coming out like super 80s, and I'm digging it so much. The cool thing about this pattern is that like I can switch the blocks around and rotate them every which way just to suit, you know, what makes the best composition. In fact, I already moved this one. It was originally on the side, and then this one was top to bottom. But I didn't like the way the colors looked when it was like that, so I switched it up a little bit. And I'm sure I'm gonna be doing that a lot more once I have the other 3 columns in. I've just got the first column done. So this is what it looks like on my design wall for now, and I'm super pumped. What do you guys think? I love this decision to use the neons. And then Amy, I just have to give you another huge thank you for recommending this fabric line, because I love it. Okay, so let me show you one of the blocks up close. So here's this one. Now, this is my first time ever doing curved piecing, which I was very intimidated by. I actually have had this pattern for a hot minute, and I've been waiting to start it because every time I looked at the curves, I kind of went, ew. But the general idea of how to do curved piecing is a lot more simple than I realized. You just gotta take it slow, and you know, you get better with practice. So there's those stripes and dots like I was talking about. You see what I mean by them being like a lighter neon? Like this, when I think of like a neon yellow, I don't immediately go to this color. Like I go to more like a highlighter color, which is just brighter. It's louder, but this is just as pretty with the like the light yellow neon. And then down here, this is like a aqua turquoise color. And you can see them together with the washed black background. I just love that it's dark, but it's not as dark as it can be. So it just works for me. And it's very like, it's given me 80s vibes. It's given me early 90s vibes with the geometric patterns. It's very, to me, it's very reminiscent of those times. And I was born in '89, so it's kind of also nostalgic a little bit for me. And I'm really just enjoying this pattern. This has been so much fun. And I mean, the pieces are big, the blocks are big, so they come together fast. So this might be the next quilt that you see on the wall next time. It's either gonna be that or cocktail hour. But this is so much fun. I can't wait. I'm gonna keep going. And I love that I can rotate them kind of which way I want based on the color composition and the layout, because I'm just kind of, I don't have it planned out already which colors I'm using in which blocks. I'm just kind of like grabbing two as I go, and then I'll switch them all around at the end. That's usually my process, is just wait till the end to move them all around. So anyways, that's Bauhaus. Okay, so that's all the projects that I actually worked on this month. Like I said, it's a little bit more modest because most of my time was dedicated to this one. But I do have some fun haul just to share with you really quick, and then we'll go over plans and wrap up for this month. It's not a ton of haul. It's just some quick, cute pieces that I wanted to bring home with me. So last time I had mentioned a couple of patterns by Elizabeth Hartman that I purchased, and one was back ordered. So I finally got the back ordered one, and that's this one here. Little Llamas. I don't know what took me so long to purchase this pattern because I love llamas. My badge reel has a llama on it. It's a llama head with like a flower crown. I have 2 sets of x-ray markers that are llamas. And then I have my locker decorated with llamas all over the front, so everybody knows it's mine. I don't know, I just love them. I think they're goofy, I think they're funny. My best friends told me that a llama is my spirit animal because, you know, they're kind of quirky, they're kind of goofy and silly, but if you piss them off, they'll spit in your face. They said that describes me to a T. So yeah, I couldn't agree more. And so I got Elizabeth Hartman's Little Llamas, and I have no plans for which, you know, fabrics to use with this one, but when I do break this out and start working on it, I will definitely let you know. So I got a couple of pieces of yardage. Fat Quarter Shop I went through all their clearance stuff, and they had a couple of fabrics that I thought were really, really cute. So I went there and just purchased what was left. So speaking of llamas, I got this. This is actually supposed to be alpacas, but whatever. I got a half yard of this peachy print with the alpacas, llamas. And then I got a half yard of this print here, which is little yellow mushrooms on a tan background. I just think that's so cute. Now, when I originally purchased this, I thought they might have had little faces on them, which they don't, but you can still imagine, right? Love it. I got a half yard of that. And then these next two, they had 3/4 of a yard remaining of both of them. So I just bought what was left. So I got this one here. This is this beautiful wing print with a gold metallic on it. This is from Ruby Star. Actually, I don't remember which lines they all come from. This one I know for sure is Ruby Star because I have some of it. And I think this next one is too. I got this little cute celestial. It's like a darker blue, almost navy with little gold and so no, they're not, well, they're yellow and blue, but gold and silver, moons and stars, and I love it. So that's what I acquired in terms of yardage, and it was all on clearance, so I got it very discounted. So that's why I was like, all right, I'll buy that. And then the last thing that I purchased, I have to blame Amy of Fiber Arts. Amy, I've already mentioned her before here, both in this video and on this channel. She's a dear friend, and she was showing some fabric that she had purchased recently. She had purchased one of the pieces from this line called Celtic Fairies, which is by Lewis and Irene. And I loved it, and so I just went and bought a fat quarter bundle of it. So this is like a navy, and she bought this one that's in the front. It's like a metallic silver fairy print. I'm sorry for the glare, it's still in the packaging. With flowers and bees. And then this print here, let me see if I can, let me just open this. There we go. This print here is unicorns with the silver metallic. And then it goes into a dark purple. And this is like, I guess I'll have to show you on a different one, but this is like a tree spirit. So like right about here, there would be a face with a mustache on this tree, and it's got a gold metallic. And then here's a purple and silver Celtic knot kind of flower. And then there's that tree print again. You'll see his face better on one of these prints up here. But this one's in the light purple. And then here's the unicorns in light purple. And the fairies in light purple with silver. And then we have this beautiful blue with these thistles. All these little purple flowers here are thistles. So I love thistles. I love the color of them, and they're very reminiscent of fairies and magic to me. If you have ever seen Disney's Tinkerbell, like the first one, that the animated, not the animated, well, it is animated, but it's like, it's not, it's like the Pixar style, right? Thistles appear in that movie. And so that's what it makes me think of. And I love that movie so much. And then here's a light blue and silver Celtic knot flower. The tan thistles with the little metallic gold sparkles. I'm so sorry if you can hear them mowing. They're mowing my apartment complex right outside my building right now, and there's nothing I can do about it. Sorry. And then here's the fairy print. This one's gorgeous. The fairies are gold instead of silver, and I love the little bumblebees. And then the tree, I swear there's a tree spirit in here. I'll have to pull it out, I guess. And then the Celtic knot flowers in the tan and gold, unicorns in the tan and gold, and then the thistles are in white. Perfect. Okay, let me show you this dang tree spirit fabric, because it's really pretty. I want you to see it. Let's just open up the fat quarter bundle, okay? That's what I'm gonna do. Let's do, here we go. I was trying to keep it nice and pretty, but see, there he is with his little, like the leaves make like a beard and eyebrows, and there's acorns. There he is. I love that one. So anyways, again, this fabric line is called Celtic Fairies. I don't think I've ever purchased fabric by Lewis and Irene before from that designer, but this I think is stunning. And I saw this print on Amy's channel for about half a second before I paused the video and then went and looked it up, and I was like, well, it's going in the cart. So watching these videos is very dangerous because obviously I have no willpower and I'm easily influenced. Okay, so that was my haul. Just a quick little purchase. Plans for next video. This will be put together and off the wall. That's a guarantee. I will either have Bauhaus or not Tula Pink, Bauhaus or Tilda's cocktail hour up here, just depending on which one I work on. They could both be up there, I don't know. And then I had intended to start the Neons and Brights Christmas Potpourri sampler. I just didn't get to it this past month, so I'm gonna try and start that this next month. And then hopefully both of the quilts that I'm taking to my long armor will be back, and then I can bind them and I can show them off as fully finished objects. I can check one more whip off of my whip list, and then anything else that comes along is just gonna be a surprise to both of us. So I'm not ruling it out. I obviously can still work on my hexi gradient quilt. Oh, go away. Okay, so I still have my hexi gradient that I could be working on. I'm just still slowly making hexagons. I don't want to force myself to do it if I'm not really feeling it at the moment, because that'll be a great way for me to get burnt out on it altogether. So it's just, there's no deadline I've set for myself for that one, so it happens when it happens. But yeah, that is it for today. If you guys have any questions at all about what you've seen, about the quilt as you go process I'm using, any of that, leave me a comment down below. If you're new here, drop a comment, say hi, because I've met a couple of new people on my last video, and it was just so fun to hear about fellow quilters and stitchers out there who are working on stuff, and then, you know, obviously that we enjoy each other's content. And it's cool to share your passions with other people who are also passionate about the same things. So, until the end of June, till next month, happy quilting, happy stitching, happy crafting, and be safe, be happy, be healthy, and I'll see you guys at the end of June. Bye!